Welcome to Meaningful Mornings and a joyous Deepavali to all. I'm reading a message from a seeker in our community. Hari Om Vivekji, here is the receipt of, I'm not stating the amount, for Journey Shelter. I wanted to make a donation on my father's birthday, November 10th, in his honor. My dad raised both his daughters to be strong and independent. He taught us to be adaptable, but never give in to injustice or lose our voice. We were fortunate to have him as our dad, though many children may not have had such solid support. It's so apt that we support kids needing safety in his honor. Always grateful for such meaningful opportunities. With humble pranams, Salon. For more than 1,100 days, though we brand this as mornings, really it's 1,100 days. We have worked hard and smart to be active listeners, engaging in Shravana, and reflectors simultaneously, that is, engaging in Manana. Proof of this is that almost everyone who's joining us through Zoom has their cameras on, is not eating, are taking notes. The only ones who don't have their cameras on are probably driving right now or are at work. Trying to make our training more authentic and deep, especially since we're about to complete the highest vocation. From Monday, November 13th, the first day after formal Deepavali, all the way to Friday, December 22nd. This is a period of 40 days. Meaningful mornings will only focus on being an active reflector. During this period, we will not read. We will not write. We will only reflect. I will close my eyes. You will close your eyes. And I will try to train us more in being an active reflector. When one reflects, they personalize. Then one doesn't forget God. This is what is needed to prepare for Bhagavad Gita's chapter 18. We are going to go through 2 full reviews of Bhagavad Gita's chapters 1 through 17 before we touch the first verse of chapter 18. When seekers practice, this makes me feel quite fulfilled. And so we're evolving our training to practice more. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the final fundamental question that is asked by the great Shaunaka, where does Dharma live? He knows that Sri Krishna's name and form and qualities have dissolved. So this lived in Sri Krishna, now where does it live? And the answer that is given is Srimad Bhagavatam. And the best expression or distillation of Srimad Bhagavatam is Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita's chapter 17, which is an appendix to the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, we have flowed through conviction as it plays out with our associations, dedications, renunciations, contributions, and now our evolution. Evolution in how we touch divinity. Is it Om? Is it Tat? Is it Sat? Last week, a sankalpa or an idea came to me to write a book entitled The Frameworks of Fundamentals. To analyze the Bhagavad Gita and all of the frameworks that are shared, all of these, so we can be closer to Sri Krishna, so we can be Sri Krishna. In verses 20 to 22, Sri Krishna has highlighted conviction when it comes to contribution. Though we may have a conditional vasana when it comes to contribution, we can change our vasanas, our prints. If we couldn't, then Bhagavad Gita would be useless. Just theory. But it requires courage to go from conditional to unconditional. I'd heard recently about a mandir that's organizing a Deepavali celebration, and at this mandir, there's a cash bar. Just think of the disintegration between what a mandir is supposed to facilitate and what they're doing for funds. Which is why I keep emphasizing culture will outlast infrastructure. So invest in the culture of contributing in an unconditional way rather than investing in the infrastructure needing conditional contribution. In verse 23, Sri Krishna shares the syllabus for the final classification on evolution. This syllabus is Om Tat Sat. In verse 24, Sri Krishna opens up Om. Om is or the A in Om is a avastha, the waking avastha. The U is the dream avastha, and the is the sleep avastha. Avastha in English means state, but in philosophy, it means that which comes and that which goes. So in verse 24, it is to chant Om so that you remember Om, that all is changing, other than awareness. In reference to chanting, that would be silence. In verse 25, Sri Krishna opens up Tat. Tat technically means that. This Tat is the one that Bhagavad Gita is based on in terms of Tattvamasi. Divinity, you are. These teachings on sacred sounds, Om, then Tat, then Sat, there is an amazing genesis or history of where these sounds have come from in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please try to remember this. The first sacred sound was felt in Bhagwan Brahma, commonly known as the Creator. He just felt this in his body, in his center. Remember I talked about Om is felt there first. This was called Nada. Can you say that? Nada. Again, I'm not saying nada, like zero or nothingness. I'm saying nada. This nada then expressed as Om. So there's the sense of this sacred presence which got expressed as Om. So Bhagavan Brahma, Nada, Om. Next, this Om got expressed as the Veda, that is singular, which got volumized into the Vedas. This got expressed even more as these Vedas were learned by Shishyas, by specific disciples of Rishi Vyasa. And this finally got expressed as Gayatri, Gayatri Mantra. So we go from Bhagavan Brahma to Gayatri Mantra. This is the origin, this is the summary. So why I give you this reference is these words, Om Tat Sat, they are not casual. These are powerful sounds. And if you really want to feel their power, you do have to chant them, but it has to radiate to your actions, to your thoughts. And now the final part of this syllabus, perhaps the best part of this syllabus. Verse 26. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha sadityetat prayujyate prashaste karmani tatha satchabda partha yujyate. Joy. First quarter, first word. Bhava. To have the feeling of sat. S-A-T. I'm not saying sat. I'm not saying sad. I am saying sat. To have the feeling of existence. Those in the highest vocation, how incredible that these are completely aligned. Our training in contemplation and Bhagavad Gita. If that's too lofty, then Sri Krishna shares a second term, sadhu bhava. To have the feeling of being a sadhu. I define sadhu as someone who works for others' happiness. Putting this more simply, nobility. The highest expression of sat is existence. The most personal definition of sat is nobility. For most of us, we have defined sat as truth. That's the in-between philosophy. Nobility evolves to truth, which evolves to existence. Sat iti etat prayujyate, when you are engaged in yajna, tapa, dana, prayujyate, this should be enjoined with the word sat. Your actions and thoughts should be infused with nobility and truth, all for feeling existence. Past the ego is existence. Prashaste means auspicious or egoless. Karmani tata, before one acts, during one's actions, post one's actions, say, so that you feel sat, and that action will become auspicious. Om, Tat, Sat, these are all reminders about living to be happy, to be happiness. Sat, Shabdaha, this word or this sound sat, Partha, that means all of us, Yujyate, feel a oneness with this. I really am fond of this verse because there are so many references to Guru in life. There's a leaf blowing Guru, There's a bird watching guru. There's a deck painting guru. But when you add Sat Guru, it's pronounced Sadguru, spelled Sadguru. It's not a brand. It's not a label. It is one who is in tune with infinity and so can tune us to infinity. This verse is encouraging us to love Sat, nobility, truth, existence. Pujaswami Chinmayananda has written, the term Sat is often used to remind us that all of these relative realities have the self-same substratum, Sat, the absolute reality. This is how we evolve. These verses, a classification on evolution. From inspiration to application, your application yesterday was to write on the prompt, what does Bhagavan mean to you? What has God done to you? How many of you have written? Good. For me, what Bhagavan has done to me is he's made living very fun. That I've tried to internalize everything that happens to me is an opportunity to learn to be happy and to be happiness, so living has become fun. Your application for this morning is, tomorrow is Remembrance Day in Canada, I believe Veterans Day in America. Please remember those who engaged in tapa, that is sacrifice. Why did they do this? Because they were dedicated not to you and I. We weren't even alive. They were dedicated to a purpose. Whether that's Canada, America, but more particularly, freedom. Please remember this. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Be joy.